Hi everyone, Stephen here at Teach Me Music, and today we're going to be talking about basic rhythm. So just a massive disclaimer, if you haven't seen how to use a metronome before this video, you should definitely go check that out, because you need to know what a metronome is, how to use it, and why it clicks and ticks. And if you don't know, then this is going to be completely random, completely off the wall, and it's going to go downhill very quickly. So make sure you've seen that video. If you need to, go watch it, come back, everything's fine, I'm still here, trust me. And then we can obviously crack on. So when we have a metronome on, that metronome is going to be playing at a certain tempo, and in this lesson it is 60 BPM, which means obviously 1 beat for each second. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the rhythm over the top of it. I'm going to show you the Sambrenner core so you can see the visual representation. We're going to clap or tap our feet, and then what we're going to do is we're going to actually play a bass note as well. We're just going to play the open E string, just so we can get you not only doing it away from the bass, because rhythm is good to do it away from the instrument, but we're also going to do it with the bass, because obviously we're here to play bass guitar. So we're going to learn 3 different rhythms today in this video, and the first one is what we call a semi-breve. That is an English term, because each rhythm has an English term and an American term. They both mean the same thing, they're both the same rhythm, it just depends which one you prefer. I prefer the American, some people prefer the English, it's cool. So it's called a semi-breve, and it's just a circle. So if you see literally just a circle in terms of rhythm, that is a semi-breve, and that is 4 beats long. The American term is a whole note. So if someone says a whole note rhythm, they basically mean 4 beats, and it's the circle. So what that means is we play on the first beat, and we hold it. So if we're playing a note on bass, we play it on beat 1, and we hold it for 2, 3, 4, and then when we're about to say beat 1 again, that's where the new note would be. So we actually make sure it lasts for 4 beats long. That is our first rhythm for this lesson. Our second rhythm, which we're going to do all 3 later to a metronome, our second rhythm is what we call a minim, which is a circle with a line, and the line can either be up and to the right or down and to the left. Does not matter, it's the same rhythm. So we call it a minim, that's the English term, or a half note, that's the American term. So the American terms show the relationship between the rhythms, which is really good, and 2 halves make a whole. So obviously if you're playing 2 half notes, that lasts for 4 beats. So it goes 1, 2, and then 1, 2, which we could obviously say 3, 4. So we're going to play on the 1, hold it for 2, play again on the 3, because we need to play 2 beats long, and then hold it for 4. So the relationship between the rhythms is a little bit more clear when we're talking about the American terms. So far we've got whole note, half note, semi-breve, and minim. Basically the same thing. Our third rhythm that we're going to talk about and obviously play is what we call a crotchet. So a crotchet is a coloured in circle with the stem or the line, and the line can either go up and to the right or down and to the left, and that is 1 beat long. It's called a crotchet or a quarter note. So obviously a quarter goes into a half twice, so we go 1, 2. Obviously makes sense. So once again, I prefer the American, but it's completely up to you. And that is a coloured in circle with the line. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a metronome on at 60 BPM. We're going to clap just to start with, and then we're actually going to play the open E string of the bass, which is the string closest to us. And the reason for playing the bass guitar is because if we're playing a 4 beat, a 2 beat, or a 1 beat note, we need to make sure that it lasts that long. So I don't want you playing the note and then stopping it, because that's not correct. So we play it, make sure the note lasts for as long as it should, and then we've got really good rhythm. And this is just a basic introduction. There are other rhythms out there, so this is just to get you started with the 3 most important to start with. So a 4 beat, a 2 beat, and a 1 beat, which is called a whole note or a semi-breve, a minim or a half note, and a crotchet or a quarter note. So I'm going to put the metronome on now at 60 BPM, and we're going to tap or clap or move your feet we're going to do the semi-breathe first, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So you should see the watch light up, and you will also hear the click. I've got the click coming through my in-ears, as you can see. And if you don't know what in-ears are, you should definitely check out my lesson on analytical listening. So this is ticking away, and we're going to make sure we know roughly how fast that is, so we can kind of match the tempo, which is obviously the metronome. Then when we're ready, we're going to clap on beat 1, and we're going to hold our hands together for beats 2, 3, and 4, and then we're going to clap again on beat 1, hold them for 2, 3, 4, and we're going to do this 10 times. It might seem really, really long, but I want you to just get used to doing it while the metronome is going, just so everyone can kind of follow along with this. So let's start off. So just watch this. I'm going to count to 4, and then we're going to start. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what you want to do with that is just make sure that you're landing it obviously on the 1 as close as you can to the click, and that way it's just going to be super, super consistent. And if you're just before it or just after it, try and home in so it's perfectly in line with the click. Obviously rewatch that, do it as many times as you like. It's definitely going to get easier the more you try it. So that was our semi-breathe rhythm. What we're going to do now is do the same thing but play a note on bass. So we'll do this just 5 times instead of 10, but the idea is we're just going to play the open E string, but we're going to ring it out on 1 and let it ring out for all 4 beats. So if you accidentally touch the string or stop the note from making a sound, that is wrong because it's not lasting for 4 beats. So you've got to make sure that that string can basically sustain and continue to vibrate until you say 1, and then you play it again. So let's get the metronome on. I'll count 4, and then we'll try it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's okay if you cut the note just before you say 1, because obviously you need time to adjust and to play the note. But if you're cutting it when you say 4 or 3 or 2, that is way too short, so you can't say that the note lasts for 4 beats. And that's the reason why playing it on the bass as well as clapping is super important. So that was our first rhythm. Let's do the same thing again, but we're going to do it for our minim or half note. So that means we're going to be clapping on the 1 and clapping on the 3, because each one of those rhythms is 2 beats long, but we also want to make sure we're counting to 4 still, because we have 4 blocks on our metronome. So clap on 1, clap on 3, hold it for 2, and hold it for 4. So let's get our metronome up, and we'll do 10 times clapping it, and then 5 times playing our low E string. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that can seem a lot faster because obviously we're playing a 2-beat rhythm. So it's just a case of trying to line it up with beats 1 and beat 3. And you can do exactly what I just did to your own metronome, where you count out loud, so you're counting to 4, and then when you think you've got the rhythm, stop counting, because you want to be able to try and just do it to the metronome. And obviously if you're counting out loud every time you play a song, that's going to really mess you up. You're not going to be able to concentrate, so you want to be able to do it subconsciously without keeping verbalization of the time. So now let's play it on the E string of the bass guitar. We'll do it 5 times, and that way at least you're holding the note for the full length and you're getting a little bit more practicality from it. So same rhythm, 2 beats, playing the note on beat 1 and beat 3. Obviously let's give it a go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was our 2-beat rhythm, which is either our half note or our minim. And you can hear that it's starting to get a lot faster, hence why we're doing it at 60 BPM, because it's actually a lot harder than you think. And now we're going to move on to our quarter note or our crotchet, and that means that you're going to be playing and clapping every single beat. So it's a clap on 1, 2, 3, 4, and also we're going to play a note on 1, 2, 3, 4 when we apply it to the bass guitar in just a second. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that one can seem pretty quick because obviously we're not giving ourselves any break. And when we're clapping it, obviously we should hold the hands together for as long as we can. But because we've got to do quite a bit of movement, I'm clapping, moving my hands, clapping. So it might seem like I'm rushing. When we play the bass guitar though, we want the string to ring out as long as it can before we hit it again. So we're going to do the same rhythm now, which is every single beat, a quarter note or a crotchet, and we're going to do that 5 times, but obviously once again to 60 BPM. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So because we're playing every single beat, that can be quite quick, hence why we're only covering 3 different rhythms in this video. We will be talking about time signatures and other rhythms in another video, just in case anyone's ahead of me and wonders why we're not talking about it in this. So all I want you to do is get comfortable with playing the 4-beat, the 2-beat, and the 1-beat rhythm. Make sure you know what they look like. And then obviously when you've got that all memorized and you're all good to go, I'll see you in the next video.